You've caught me at a very bovine time in my life. Oh man, where do I even start? The last video was all about UIM Showdown, the biggest community event in the game for UIMs. My preparation for the event included making a ton of money, making some big ship upgrades, and completing the elite combat achievements. During the event, I was mostly doing Slayer bosses, including a ton of Cerberus, and I managed to greenlog the boss, getting the jar, the pet, and the smoldering stone. In the end, my team managed to take home the win, making me a 2-time UIM Showdown winner, and we even had 4 hours to spare before the end of the event, which we spent killing the new cow boss, Brutus, and I managed to greenlog that boss too, including the pet. With that said, I need to take some time to process a bunch of the items that I got during the event that I didn't have the time to deal with at the time. Herbs turned into potions, rune ore turned into money. See how quick that goes by when I skip the entire process for the video? I also spent about a week or two doing some extra stuff like mining amethyst to make ammo and thieving master farmers to get herb seeds to buff up my potion stacks. It's all stuff that's not really worth going into a lot of detail over, but just keep in mind that there's a lot of those UIM chores that are always going on in the background. And now, it is time to finally move on from UIM Showdown season. My account has been a little bit directionless since I got the Scythe of Bitter a couple videos ago, which was the last rates mega rare I needed to have a seriously good PVM loadout in all 3 combat styles. And I think I have an idea for what I want to do next on the account, but it is going to be a pretty big challenge and I want to take some time to chill out and do some side stuff before I dive into another big PVM task. Thankfully, Jagex has supplied a pretty big new thing for me to do, and I think I might need to do it quickly. Today is March 18th, and Jagex has just dropped the new ship combat changes. There are 2 major changes that I'm interested in. One is that they have added a new type of sea monster that drops the Dragon Cannon Barrel, which is now the only way to get it besides that super rare drop from salvaging. And the other is that they removed the cap on damage to sea monsters from normal weapons, and that is big because it means that if you're using high-level gear, your DPS has been tripled at least. They made some balance changes to cannons as well, so they do slightly more DPS and you use fewer cannonballs, but the buffs to normal weapons just blows that out of the water. There's one other crucial bit of info here, which is that Jagex said in the blog that they intended for sea monsters to still have roughly the same time to kill as before the changes, and they increased the HP of all the sea monsters to compensate for the buffs. But it looks like they only did that for the cannon buffs, and not the buffs for normal weapons, which means 2 things. First, you can get way more kills per hour on all sea monsters now if you have good gear. And second, there's a good chance Jagex is gonna patch this soon to make sea monsters even more tanky. I originally had a list of things I wanted to do for this video, but this kind of throws out all my plans. I need to drop everything I'm doing and start killing some sea monsters ASAP before they make it a lot harder. So apparently, this should be the place. That is so stupid. I'm killing the new Veiled Kraken, which is the new PVM source for the Dragon Cannon Barrel. We don't know much about things like drop rates yet because they just got added to the game today, but we do know that they were basically designed to be weak to heavy ranged weapons like crossbows. But that said, magic is still generally going to be a good choice no matter what because the Shadow's accuracy is still so good that it makes that kind of stuff irrelevant. Plus, within hours of the update dropping, someone found a safe spot for them, so you can just sit here behind these rocks and wail on them. I'm gonna be here probably until I get the Dragon Cannon Barrel, but we'll see what the rates look like once they get confirmed. There's one other thing I need to get from sea monsters, but that's probably gonna be a lower priority than this, since it's possible that they could change its stats to further encourage heavy ranged weapons, and I don't really have any good ones available. Oh hey, Dragon Metal Sheet. I guess that'll be useful for when I'm actually making the Dragon Cannon. Okay, checking in here at 200 KCs, still going strong. The drop rates just got confirmed on the wiki for these guys, and it's looking like the Dragon Cannon Barrel is a 1 in 1,000 drop here, and since I'm getting a rate of about 65 or 70 kills an hour, we're looking at like a 15-hour grind here, which is way faster than the salvaging method. So I'm probably just gonna stick it out here until I get that barrel. Yes, I got it! I was really scared that this was, gonna be something that I went really dry on, but I ended up getting pretty lucky here. 639 KC, so a bit over half the drop rate. I'm gonna be keeping this in the inventory for now, since there's another item that I need to get from sea monsters before they do any more patches. I'm actually taking a bit of a diversion here to get some stuff set up on my sloop to make this next grind a bit quicker. One of the things that got added to the game after I got 99 sailing was the ability to move ship upgrades around using a facility bottle, which you can buy at the shipyard. And with the most recent update, they made it so you can put 2 cannons on the same side of a sloop. instead of only being able to do one on each side. There we go, both cannons are now on the right side of the sloop, which should help for the next thing I'm going to be doing. I'm also building the new ballistic attractor, which got added with the most recent update, and it basically acts as an Ava's device for cannonballs, giving you a 60% chance to not use ammo every time it gets fired. Safe spotting Vampire Kraken is a lot more involved, since these ones use long-range attacks. You can't just safe spot them behind rocks or anything. And I was going to show off the whole setup for a safe spot here, but then this happened. What? You know what? No. Okay. It took 1 KC. That is how long it took. Wow. So after that grueling grind at the Vampire Krakens, let's use that Bottled Storm. This is used to make the Greater Teleport focus, which enables you to use the Teleport to Boat spell to teleport to whatever dock or mooring point your boat is at, and that is really nice considering they also recently added that teleport to the Portal Nexus. So basically I can just park my boat at any dock or island in the game, and I'll be able to teleport there anytime from the POH. And now all that's left is to use that Dragon Cannon barrel I got to make a second Dragon Cannon. And yes, that is going to require 7 more Dragon Metal Sheets, so it is time to kill some Frost Dragons and Lava Strike Worms, starting with these 2 tasks. Sheet 2, Sheet 3, Sheet 4. So I'm on the worm task now, and this is actually a great opportunity to start taking advantage of that Greater Teleport focus. Normally I would need to make this long trip down to Turret Island every time I need to resupply, but because I have the Teleport to Boat spell, I can just leave my boat parked here and teleport directly to the island from my Portal Nexus. It is really convenient. Sheet 5, Sheet 6, Sheet 7, and there we go, that is the last one. Here it is, after a mad rush to get all this done before Jagex makes another ship combat patch, the second Dragon Cannon built on the sloop. There are still technically some things I still need to get on my ships, like a pair of Dragon salvaging hooks for the sloop, but that is a much lower priority than the Greater Teleport focus and the second cannon. I'm glad I got decently lucky with everything here, and I'm also glad that I can finally move on. I'm still not quite at the point where I want to do a big PVM challenge yet, so I am going to get to some of the side things that I was originally planning on doing for this video before that last update dropped. The first thing I want to do is something I'm surprised I haven't gotten to yet. A long time ago, I got the achievement diary completed for the Western Provinces, and one of the things that unlocks is a pet that's pretty easy to get. I'm not really the pet hunter type of guy, but this one is almost like a free pet, and I was thinking about it after getting the Brutus pet in the last video, which is also a pretty free one. The Chompy Chick pet is obtainable from hunting chompy birds, which is normally pretty niche content for a couple cosmetic items, but because it's on the achievement diary, everyone eventually gets around to doing some chompy hunting. You have to kill 1,000 chompies to complete the elite diary, which I have already done, and that unlocks the pet, which is a 1 in 500 drop from either killing a chompy or plucking one after you kill it, making it an effective 1 in 250 rate if you are plucking all of them. This is the setup, by the way, my best ranged gear with an Ogre combo and Ogre arrows, since it's not worth making brutal arrows. If you're doing this yourself, make sure you are using the combo instead of the normal Ogre bow. It fires way faster. Hey, there we go, the Chompy Chick. Pretty lucky too, that was only about 200 kills and plucks. Nice. Cool, the POH pet house is looking pretty lively. The other thing I wanted to do is finally unlock the music cape, which you get by unlocking all the music tracks in the game. It is something that I could have done any time recently, but I never really bothered to, so I guess let's go unlock all the music in the game. Alternative route from the What Lies Below quest area, Bane from fighting the Corporeal Beast, the Bane of Ashihama from fighting the Nightmare Boss, Brew Hoo Hoo from the Port Spooky Brewery, Bubble and Squeak from the Keldagrim Rat Pits, Chickened Out from the Evil Chicken's Lair, Clan Wars from Clan Wars and the other Clan Wars theme, Warpath, Sorceress's Garden along with all 4 seasonal themes, Summer, Spring, Autumn, and Winter, Mistrock from Mistrock, O-Rat from fighting Scurious, Race Against the Clock from the Camdozel Vault, Rat-a-Tat-Tat from the Varrock Rat Pits, Revenant from the Rev Caves, had to death pile for that one, Rhapsody from the Clan Hall, Roots and Flute from fighting Bryophyta, Sarachnis from Sarachnis, Stormbrew from the Kilowatt Plane, and now this is the main thing that has been keeping me from wanting to get the music cape, but I need to get it done sooner or later. The last few tracks are from the next fight, so I need to unlock next, which means picking up a key piece that is a guaranteed drop from each God Wars boss. And yes, I have done plenty of God Wars in the past, and I've literally just been ignoring all of the key pieces, because I wasn't going to bother getting all 4 of them in the inventory at once. So now I gotta do one more kill of each boss. Armadillo, that is the hardest one, so I'm doing it first. I think these key pieces are lost on death, so if I do die in this process, I have to start over. Saradomin, Bandos, and Zamorak. Cool, that is the frozen key completed. So now I just gotta use it on the door to Nex's arena in the God Wars dungeon. Nice, Nex has been permanently unlocked. That also counts as completing the Frozen Door mini quest, which also happens to be the last mini quest that I hadn't completed yet on this account, so that's cool too, it's completed. It also unlocks the Ancient Prison music track. And here's the last couple tracks I needed from the fight itself, Zeros Zeitgeist and the Angel's Fury, nice. And here is the music cape. It gives unlimited teleports to Fallow the Bard, which is pretty nice for Master Clues. It also unlocks the air guitar emote, and because I have all the holiday music tracks too, which are not normally required for the cape, and I've also gotten the quest point cape and the diary cape, that allows me to trim this one, which is pretty neat. Alright, I think that is enough distractions and diversions for now. I have decided on the next major PVM goal I want to do, so let's get into it. Okay, the one fucking time that I don't have the recording up, Bando's Kite Shield, that's actually really, really good. I'm really annoyed that I forgot to turn OBS on before opening that clue. This makes it so I have one item left in the Bandos set, right? Yeah, I just have either the plate legs or the plate skirt. If I get either of those, that's huge, because that means that my Bandos plate body will, I can effectively single store that, which means that my BGS will become single storable. That is a really big deal. So now, oh man, eventually I'm going to need to get on the hard clues for that, man. Anyway, now that that's done, this Assembler Max Cape is great, but it's time to get something better. The Fortis Colosseum was added in early 2024 with the release of Varlamore Part 1, and it is basically a sort of sequel to the Inferno with waves of enemies, an extremely powerful boss at the end, and a unique reward guaranteed upon completing it. The best cape slot item for ranged, Dizana's Quiver. I've been putting this one off for a while, but now that I have the Scythe of Bitter, which is the best in slot weapon to use against the boss of the Colosseum, it's time to finally learn this content. I'm going to be comparing the Fortis Colosseum to the Inferno a lot, because of just how much the Inferno was used as a model for the Colosseum, but unlike the Inferno, I am actually going to be learning the Colosseum on the UIM, because I just don't have enough money on the main to model the loadout that I will be using on the UIM. I'm going to be using both the Twisted Bow and the Scythe of Bitter, and that's not cheap. The Fortis Colosseum does have some pretty major differences from the Inferno. The most immediate one is that it is much shorter. It's only 12 waves long, unlike the 69 wave gauntlet Stop Laughing of the Inferno. So the whole experience is pretty condensed, and there are fewer filler waves where the only thing changing is that there's more bats or something. The other big difference is that the Colosseum has a loot system similar to what they would later use for the Doom of Makayotl boss. In the Inferno, there's no loot except for the Infernal Cape at the end. In the Colosseum, you get a new piece of loot with each wave, but you have to end the run to collect it. But unlike the Doom boss, this one is not endless. You can either end the run early and collect the loot you've earned so far, or you can try and beat the boss on wave 12, which will give you the Quiver and all of the loot from the whole run. There's also an invocation system where every wave you have to pick one of 3 randomly selected debuffs that get applied for the rest of the run. These could be things like adding additional enemies, or nerfing your stats, or powering up enemy attacks. Alright, here I go. This is the loadout, mainly just my ranged gear but with some melee switches for the boss, and a few extra pieces of equipment that I'll be talking about later. I'm also using the chucking barrel here, so I don't need to worry about keeping noted potions in my inventory. One thing you may have picked up on already is that the Inferno is a safe death, but the Colosseum is not. That is normally a pretty big deal, but honestly with my inventory situation, it's really not. The only things that are in my inventory that aren't directly used in the Colosseum are my rune pouch, my max cape, and my looting bag, and I'm totally fine with my UIM tax just being 3 inventory slots. I know that there is a strategy that a lot of UIMs will do where they just death pile to get extra space and then try and beat the whole thing in less than an hour so they can pick everything back up in time, but I really have no reason to do that. I don't like death piling in general unless it's absolutely necessary, since it's always an inherently iffy thing to do risk-wise, and it's just not worth it for 3 extra potions here. And if you think I'm being paranoid about that, literally while I was editing this video, someone posted in the UIM Discord saying they wiped about 330 mil because they decided to do that death piling strategy. The number one thing I'm focusing on right now at the beginning of the process is getting good at dealing with the Fremenniks. Every wave contains 3 Fremenniks, 1 melee, 1 ranged, and 1 magic, and they basically take the place of the Nibblers in the Inferno. The pillars are permanent in the Colosseum, and the Fremenniks aggro onto you like everything else, so you don't need to worry about taking too long to solve the wave as long as you can stay alive. 40 seconds into each wave, 1 or 2 extra enemies will spawn as reinforcements, but it's not the same as the constant pressure to do everything as quickly as possible that you get in the Inferno. Okay, yep, that is the first attempt. Wave 3 completed with not a lot of supplies used, so that's nice. I picked a bad invocation there by mistake, and I was so caught up in that I didn't realize I was using the wrong weapon to kill the Fremies. Nice, easy little combat task. I was here first for killing the Jaguar warriors with a claw spec. And there's another one, Furball, for killing a Manticore without taking any damage from it. And this is actually going to be the wave I end this round on, and here is why. Cool, 5,000 glory. This is an extra reward system in the Colosseum. Glory is basically a high score, and as you push that score higher, you get some extra unlocks. I just unlocked access to the bank chest, which will be nice for pulling potions out of my chugging barrel, and I also unlocked the Fortis respawn point. Ah, shit. Yep, that was really stupid. I was super focused on how to pull out the Major on the far end that I forgot to pray against the Manticore right in front of me. Still, that is Wave 6 completed, which is a new PB, so that is cool. And also, when you die in the Colosseum, you respawn out here in the lobby right next to your death pile, so that's nice. Wait, you get glory even if you die? That is gonna make some stuff easier. I assumed that it worked like the loot, where if you die you don't get anything, but no, apparently you do get the glory, so that is great actually. Here's the next unlock I got for that, by the way. It improves the GP you get from doing the Fortis thieving method. So that one's not really too useful, but the next one is gonna be really nice once I get there. Okay, oh, denied. What was that? Complete Wave 7 without the Minotaur ever healing anything. Nice. I think at this point I am familiar enough with the Colosseum that I can start explaining the main process I'm going through for each wave. Unlike the Inferno, everything is a lot more procedural in the Colosseum, which I really like. I start each wave on the start tile here, and I click behind the northwest pillar on a specific tick after clicking continue on the invocation box, which influences the spawn behavior of the enemies so that there's less chance that an enemy will spawn in a really bad position. At this point, I am immediately thinking about where all the enemies have spawned, and I have to make an immediate decision on whether to stay on the west side of the pillar or rotate around to the north side. Usually the west side is better, but if I get really bad spawns, rotating could help safe spot more enemies. Once I'm on the correct side of the pillar, I need to make sure that I am praying against whatever enemies can still see me and start killing the Fremenniks. These guys have some really weird mechanics where they are not safe spottable, they run really fast to keep up with you, they have an attack range of 1, and they can't move an attack on the same tick, which means they can only attack me if I stand still, so for example, if I'm attacking one of them. I'm trying to kill these guys as quickly as possible, and thankfully, you have a guaranteed max hit if you use the style of attack that they are weak against. So my T-Bow is a guaranteed 1-shot against the Major, my Eye of Iak is a guaranteed 2-shot against the Meleeer, and my Nally is a guaranteed 2-shot against the Ranger. At this point, if there are any enemies that can see me, I try and kill them as quickly as possible, because 40 seconds into the wave, 1 or 2 extra enemies will spawn as reinforcements. So everything up until this point is on a timer, but once I do kill the Fremenniks and any extra enemies that can see me, the wave is basically solved and I'm no longer on any time limit. I can just wait for the reinforcements to spawn, take care of them, and then solve whatever pillar stack the enemies ended up in. So that's the basic process I'm following with each wave, but of course there are some things that can really screw me up. For example, if I roll really bad on my attacks before the reinforcements spawn, that can potentially make it so I have to deal with multiple enemies at once. Or if multiple enemies spawn towards the south of the arena, that makes it more likely that I'll need to rotate to the north side of the pillar, which in turn makes the reinforcements more of a problem since it's harder to safe spot them. And that's exactly what happened here. I didn't want to deal with flicking both a Manticore and a Major at the same time, so I rotated north, which meant 2 Rangers were on me, and when the reinforcements spawned, I had to deal with 2 Rangers and a Major attacking me all at the same time, and when they're on the same tick, there's not much you can do about that. Ah, damn it. That was a really stupid mistake, but that is a great PB. I got to wave 10 there, and I should have been able to get to 11. And that actually gives me enough glory for all the rest of the unlocks. So that is the teleport to the Colosseum from the jewelry box in the POH. The Varlamore herb patch is now immune to disease, and I can now use the Fortis Salute emote. Nice. Now I never need to worry about glory again. I wanted to show this clip here because this is mainly why I have my Burning Claws on me. It's a really good tool for these really specific situations where I have an enemy in melee range and I need to kill that enemy ASAP before the reinforcements show up, and it definitely saved this run. Well, I didn't know that could happen. I thought the Manticores were hard-coded to never attack with different attacks on the same tick, but I guess not. That sucks. That was a great run, too. God damn it. That was a misclick, but new PB. I got to wave 11 there, which is the last wave before the boss, so that is cool. Okay, so that is my first ever wave 11 complete, so I'm gonna be fighting the boss for the first time. That's also a master task one-off for doing it with Doom 2 active. There's a very, very low chance that I can kill this boss on the first try, but there's really no reason not to go for it. Well, that was fast. Oh man. All right, well, good practice. I guess that is the first attempt at Soul Heredit. I'll go more in depth later once I actually have the means to survive a little bit longer there. Alright, that's another wave 11 complete. Time to try out this boss yet again. This time I managed to stay alive long enough to see a decent amount of his attack cycles, so I can actually talk about that now. Soul Heredit has 2 main attacks, and they are AoE based, so you have to step to the correct tile to dodge it. His spear does this pitchfork pattern, and his shield does this ring pattern. On top of that, each attack has 2 different variations, and which one he does depends on what his previous attack was. So most of this fight is just thinking about which attacks are possible for him to use next, and stepping to the correct tile accordingly to protect from both. He also has a couple special attacks. For one of them, he attacks you 3 times and you have to switch to prey melee just as the attack lands each time, and for the other, he will call out a specific body part and you have to click the piece of equipment in that slot to block the attack. On top of that, there's a bunch of area hazards in the arena, so basically you just have to avoid everything that's yellow. Oh, alright, much better. Alright, got him about a third of the way down. I died to Doom, which is probably better than not dying to Doom there. It means that I did properly manage my health. I did run out of supplies at the end, but that's fine. Getting him to like 66% health, I'm happy with that. Yeah, it's gonna be several more attempts of that, and eventually I'll get to the point where I'm comfortable enough with his attack pattern. I think the thing that's screwing me up a lot is the, just remembering what the last thing he used was when he does like a phase transition or something in the middle of it, or like a special attack or whatever. One of those resets the pattern, I forget which. I need to look that up. But yeah, all right, that was a pretty good second attempt. Okay, kind of a big moment on this one. I just secured the Sunfire top in my loot, so I'm actually going to quit out early and claim that. The Sunfire Fanatic armor is the best armor in the game for prayer bonus. It is basically a straight upgrade to the Proselyte set, but the real reason that I'm getting this is because it's used for an elite clue. There we go, that's the stash unit, and this clue step is now permanently unlocked for me. Soul Heredit once again, and I think I'm going to spend some time with the Soul Simulator web app to prepare for this. Damn it! Fuck! I was so close. I didn't realize that I wasn't under 10% there. I should have waited to use the claws. I got tripped up on like so many things at the same time. Okay, that was over 90% of the way there. And I Just need to get more attempts at Soul, and then I'll be able to do that. I need to calm down. I'm mad. Okay, this one's looking pretty promising. No Solar Flare, no Frailty. I'm gonna pick Doom 1 here so I can take 15 hits total instead of 10, and my supplies are looking pretty decent. I'm gonna take some time to practice on the simulator, and hopefully I can bring it home with this one. First mistake. Yes! Yes, I got it! Whew. It's over. And I correctly ran away even though volatility was not on. That was Speed Chaser too, that's crazy. All right. Let's grab that reward chest. Let's take my quiver. Let's go. Let's take everything else. Oh my God, that was a lot. That was so much. My heart is fucking pounding, but I have Dizana's quiver. Oh my God, on the UIM, there we go. I can finally move on. Okay, there is a lot to go over here. The Dizana's Quiver is the best cape slot item in the game for ranged, giving an additional +1 range strength bonus and +10 ranged accuracy bonus over the Ava's Assembler. But not only that, it has a unique mechanic where you get a second ammo slot. So that can be useful in a few ways. I could equip both arrows and bolts if I wanted to use both my T-bow and a crossbow for stuff in the future. I could keep both my amethyst and dragon arrows equipped at the same time to save space, or I could even equip some ammo and a god blessing at the same time. There's a lot of possibilities when you add a whole new equipment slot to your character. The quiver can also have the Ava's effect added to it. You need to just bring it to Ava with an existing item with the effect, and she will copy the effect over. So now this thing has the 80% ammo saving of the Ava's Assembler. There's one more mechanic with the quiver, which is that you can add Sunfire Splinters to it to charge it. And when it's charged, it gets an additional +1 range strength bonus and +10 ranged accuracy, as long as the ammo is storable in the quiver. And like a lot of charging mechanics, it's possible to make that effect permanent by blessing the quiver, which requires a whopping 150,000 splinters. There's one other benefit of having a blessed quiver instead of a normal one, but I will explain that later. So how am I going to get all of these Sunfire Splinters? The best way is from the Colosseum, what I've been working on for the last 5 days. The fastest method is just to get good enough to beat the Colosseum consistently, since you can turn in extra quivers for 4,000 splinters each, but there's also another method that's much slower but more consistent. Wave 1 of the Colosseum always awards 80 shards, and it's fast and trivial to complete, so what a lot of players will do is just spam Wave 1 over and over again, collecting the 80 splinters from each completion. So I need to make a choice. Do I go for the really boring approach that takes a really long time, or do I keep trying to get better at the content to prove that I have what it takes? Hello, it has been a while. That was about a 25-hour grind, but this last completion of Wave 1 should give me the rest of the splinters I need. There we go, 150,000 Sunfire Splinters. And now, the moment of truth, the blessed Dizana's Quiver. So now that charge effect is permanent, so I never need to worry about keeping my charges up. But not only that, here is that final benefit from blessing the Quiver. Yeah, the Blessed Quiver is the only version that can be made into a max cape transmog, so by extension, it's the only version that's storable in the POH. There's also another much smaller benefit of having the Blessed Quiver Max Cape, but I'm gonna need y'all to keep this on the down low since this is almost certainly a bug in the game, but it's a convenient bug and a very minor one. So normally, if you try and put a Quiver Max Cape in the cape rack, but you have ammo in your second ammo slot, it won't let you do it. But there's also another way to store a cape in the POH, and that is the cape hanger in the achievement gallery. But even there, they kept that check to make sure you can't store ammo with the cape. But only if you use the cape itself on the hanger. They didn't put the same check on the hood, so you can literally ghost store an ammo stack by putting it in your second ammo slot and then using the hood on the cape hanger. I love this game. Well, I think it's time. I really enjoyed getting a chance to knock out these smaller grinds that I never really got a chance to do before, but I'm already itching to start my next long-term grind on the UIM. I've had a lot of time over the past 2 or 3 months to really think about the direction I want to take on my UIM, and I think I've finally come to a decision. I'm really excited because this is going to be something that takes me all around the game, trying out tons of content that I've never done before, and I'll also get some pretty big rewards out of it. My next long-term goal is going to be completing the master tier of the combat achievements, and in my next video, I'm going to get started on that, so I'll see you then.